I gotta say, this is weird. Um, my YouTube has been acting goofy for the last few times I've done this. Um, I downloaded a streaming software called Streamlabs. I'm having issues with getting the video to work properly, so I am not trying to use it right now. But uh, YouTube keeps defaulting my live streams to it, and until I can get the video issue resolved with it, um, this is gonna be problematic. I'll work on that tomorrow because my next one is Tuesday, and I want to be sure that I can do this without having to deal with a bunch of BS. Um, I'd like to open with welcome. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. I want to congratulate Colin Morikawa, who was a student at UC Berkeley. He won the PGA Championship today, and congratulations. I want to go into something that I really haven't addressed because it affects me a little differently than it does most people. First, uh, last night I watched The Martian, and it kind of points out what a lot of people have been going through during the pandemic. They're lost, they're alone. They are limited in their ability to communicate to others. And it makes it really difficult for a lot of people. The other thing about The Martian is that it kind of highlights what people should be doing when they feel like that. It isn't, it's okay to feel alone. It's okay to be lonely, as it were. But as long as you identify why that is and why, you are where you're at, you can work to correct the issue, even if you aren't able to correct it right away. You have to work towards it, just like everything else. And so I deal with depression all the time. So that is a similarity I share with it, with the loneliness, because a lot of times it just will incapacitate me. But after I stop feeling sorry for myself, I get up, I go do what I need to do, and here we are. So as long as you understand that it's okay to be lonely, it's okay to be around no one but yourself, and you can correct it through your own actions, then it becomes a lot easier to deal with. It doesn't go away. And if it really gets bad, you should really take time to talk to someone, not necessarily a professional. I don't necessarily advocate going to therapy because you're alone. That doesn't really work anyway. It doesn't change where you're at. Talking to someone helps, but being alone is a state, and you have to make the decision that you don't want to be alone. And the mistake a lot of people make in that situation is they just take what the next thing comes through, and that's not necessarily what's best for you. And so I'll leave it at that. But I wanted to talk about this because it's really important that it can be fixed, and it can be fixed, rather than it being permanent. Now, there are situations where that can't be, but it doesn't change the fact that in most cases, it can be fixed. Hold on, I'm going to turn on my light. Oh. Anyway, the next thing is I went out and sold papers for the first time in 5 months on Saturday. Now it was okay. It was Saturday. I was dealing with a bunch of other people doing the same thing I was. So it was, I met a few people, had a good conversation. But I met this young man. I'll call him John. That's not his real name. But basically, John came to San Francisco to hang out with someone. And it turns out because of a COVID situation, he did not have a place to stay because he had planned to stay with his friend. Well, because of that, he's on the street until he can get back to where he's from, which is Arizona. And when we had this discussion, he was like, he kind of offhandedly said, "Is there any place I can go where I don't have to perform sexual favors to get a place to sleep?" And I kind of rolled over the options with him, but it also reminded me of a situation I was in when I was homeless here in 2018. I came back. I was expecting to have to deal with a bunch of different stuff. I had been sleeping on the street, and people were just following me around, trying to get various things from me. And unfortunately, it's a common situation. That's common, even though I keep to myself. And so I just said, look, people want something from you because of your pretty face. I said it offhandedly, and he looked at me for a second, and then he goes, "Yeah, you're right." And we had a good conversation, and I hope he's doing well. I hope he's found a place, or he's on his way home. John, if you're watching, you know who you are. You have options. So, but for now, I don't really have a lot else to say. I'm not going to talk about national stuff. I'm not going to talk about how much of an F-tard Donald Trump is, because he is. And it's problematic. Some of the executive orders he signed are problematic. Like I said, I won't go into that. I'm going to end it early today because I don't want to talk for 2 hours, and I know I will. I hope you guys are doing well. Right now, my intended schedule, if anyone is coming to San Francisco or is in San Francisco, it is my planned schedule is I'll be at the Embarcadero Farmers Market on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, or Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Saturday, I'll be there at 8:00. Monday and Tuesday, I'll be there at 10:00, and my plan is to be out there the entire time. There's also a farmer's market on Sunday and Wednesday at UN Plaza. Again, my plan is to be out there a decent part of the day. I haven't really kind of checked any of the spots out. I mean, Saturday I went and I was by myself for a couple hours, and then everybody and their brother showed up trying to hustle something because it's tough out there, especially if you're trying to get money. And so I have to find a better spot than where I was at, just because I don't want to be crowded while I'm doing what I'm doing. Same with the UN Plaza Farmers Market. If you decide to go, you'll have to kind of look at me outside of the 3 or 4 entrances. I won't be on the fountain side uh, towards Leavenworth at UN Plaza for certain, because there's like 50 people that hang out there all the time, and I'm going to try and avoid that. As a matter of fact, given what I've seen while I'm out there, I'm not even sure I want to do UN Plaza because just too many people are there. But we'll see. Again, my plan is Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. Bleh. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at the farmers market at Embarcadero, and UN Plaza is kind of to be determined. I honestly expect for the farmers market that I'm going to settle on the south end of the market, down by where down by the big walkway south of the ferry building for the UN for the Embarcadero Farmers Market. But again, I have to kind of look and see where I can set up and where I'm going to be annoyed the least, because I really have to be comfortable somewhere doing it, which is part of the reason why I haven't done anything in the last several months, because I just don't want to deal with a bunch of BS. But anyway, have a great night. I'll talk to you guys later, and hope you stay well and safe.